R.S. trophy is the pinnacle of what Renault Sport will offer you right now in terms of a hot hatchback. In Ireland, the Renault Mégane R.S. range starts from €42,000, but the trophy range starts from €47,000 with a manual gearbox, or €50,000 with an EDC auto. And that's like what I have in this car. It uses the same 1.8 litre turbo petrol engine as the Mégane RS, but it's got more power and more torque. So here we have 300 horsepower and 420 newton meters of torque with the EDC automatic gearbox. The Mégane RS trophy also comes with a limited slip differential and the Cup chassis, which is optional on the standard Mégane RS. You've probably seen me smiling every time I hear a bit of a pop and a bang from the exhaust. That's because the Mégane RS trophy has a valve in the exhaust. That's a first for the Mégane RS, and that alters how noisy the car gets. So in the comfort and neutral modes, it's in its quietest format, but not really, it's still got a sporty tone. But in the sport and race modes, that's where all hell breaks loose, and you get these beautiful pops and crackles from the exhaust. No, it won't do it for me now. Oh, there did one there, that's it. So yes, the Mégane RS trophy is an exciting car to drive. It feels very tense on the road, the tension of a true racer. It'll bring your kids to school, but really what it wants to do is it wants to go to the racetrack. Now I'm okay with that. It's got razor-like precision. It's got the 4Control 4-wheel steering, which I think works even better here in the Mégane RS trophy. This car handles beautifully with a little bit of flair, but to see that element of it, you really do have to sniff out some empty tarmac and sweeping curves and have a little bit of fun with it. So on my way home after picking the car up, I headed for the Wicklow Mountains, the long way home, and there wasn't really that many people around, and any tourists, they actually, when they saw me in the rear view mirror in this liquid yellow Mégane RS trophy, they actually pulled in to let me by, which was very nice. But I found some empty tarmac, sweeping corners, and some really smooth tarmac that was actually like a racetrack. It was so smooth. And I was able to see ahead and really enjoy this car. And it was one of those moments where I felt at one with the car, and I know that sounds quite sentimental and romantic, but it's true, and not every car does that to me. I talk about that tension, and yeah, it's the brittleness of the car and the suspension adds to that atmosphere. It reminded me of the Honda Civic Type R and the Ford Focus RS. It's got that real mechanical feel on the road. It doesn't feel like there's a layer of software between you and the actual driving experience, and that marks out the very best in my opinion. It's a very well engineered car and it feels like that. But the ride comfort is not as cosseting as your standard Mégane RS on a sport chassis, so you kind of have to think about how you're going to use the car. It's certainly not unbearable for day-to-day use. On smooth tarmac, like what I'm driving now, it's fine in town, but on some of Ireland's rural roads, if you did 20 kilometres on a pockmarked road with humps and ridges and everything in between, yeah, it's not so good on that. You might feel a little bit sick. So I suppose it is designed for a smoother road. It's designed for a racetrack. Yeah, so I hope the roads near you are like racetracks. are actually an option. They're covered in beautiful Alcantara. They're very nice. The steering wheel has got some Alcantara trim and leather. Again, it feels lovely. There's quite a few hard plastics in here. It's pretty much a standard Mégane interior. When a car starts pushing €50,000, you start to look at these things a little bit more. But it's a problem with a lot of the competitors as well, that you'll see a lot of hard plastics and you kind of wonder 50 grand. But I think it's part of the territory, and the car does drive so well, so you probably won't bother you too much. Of more frustration is the infotainment, but you can bypass that as well with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. It's just the ventilation controls are quite small and it can be tedious to access different menus. The standard Mégane R.S. I mean, I had great fun in that. You just have to look at the video. But there's an extra layer to this. It's a bit more vicious. The engine is like a highlight here again for me. There's great music to it. Pops and bangs and things. I'm trying to get it to make noises. And now it won't do it for me. You little bastard. So that's noisiest in the sport mode and the race mode as well. But that turns off the ESP, so I haven't been doing that.